Hello everyone, I'm Kibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where last time we had a bunch of fun messing with the Fixmas holiday event and automated all the basic stuff. But today we're completely ignoring all that, and instead we're gonna be working on a huge project. The project we were working on before in the Blue Crater Lake area here, which is processing 2,550 oil and making 10,000, 15,000 items with over 140 refineries. Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot today, and we'll have a Fixmas episode later. And if you're excited for this, remember to leave a like. Oh man though, we're gonna be working on an insane project today. Yes, all these refineries are gonna be making rubber, and that's it. They're all gonna be making rubber. We're gonna be making like 14,000 rubber per minute. Because oil production can get about as complicated as you want it. And the design we're gonna use is gonna make 1 crude oil into 3 plastic products. The original recipe is 30 crude to 20 rubber, so it's not even a 1-to-1 ratio. And what we're doing is gonna be a 1-to-3, but it's extremely, extremely complicated. So, let's go over things. It's using a bunch of alternate recipes. Number 1, alternate heavy oil residue. Takes crude oil and makes it into heavy oil residue and polymer resin. The polymer resin down here will become a little bit of rubber, and the heavy oil residue will become fuel, because this diluted fuel alternate combines the residue with water to make fuel. And it's only 50 oil and 100 water, so essentially you're turning water into oil. It's crazy good. Very good recipe. Definitely use it. Anyway, with both a little bit of rubber and a little bit of fuel, we're going to be actually making the rubber into plastic first by using the recycled plastic recipe, which makes rubber and fuel into plastic, and then using all this plastic and all of the extra fuel we make into an abundant amount of rubber. So yeah, extremely good recipe, but oh my goodness, you're paying for it with your time. It is hard to set up, and we're going big scale with it. And that's just the basic process. Actually getting into the weeds of things, it's like, oh my gosh. So quick look behind the scenes into Excel. So 34 refineries for this heavy oil residue step, and it would have been 85, but we're overclocking them all. We're gonna need 28 blenders, 17 for residual rubber, another 61 refineries essentially for recycled rubber, and then we'll need another 31 for recycled plastic. And at the end of the day, we're not making 10,000 rubber, but we're making the 2,550 crude into 7,600-ish rubber per minute. So pause the video, take notes if you want. By the way, I'll be posting this on my Patreon, so you can download it and mess around with it yourself. You can even input your own numbers into the spreadsheet, which is really handy. So say you're working in the Gold Coast, you want to use the oil there, boom, there are the numbers to make all of the rubber or whatever you want. And how I have it set up here, it's to make all of the rubber, but you can just switch the recycled rubber and recycled plastic recipes around, and you could just make like 11,000 plastic or whatever you want to do. Very, very handy. But let's get started here. So I've made my life incredibly more difficult than it needs to be by making this a tall oil refining plant, but it's gonna look cool, so you know how I be. We're gonna have a control room down right here. We have our fuel blenders on the bottom there, because they'll use the most water and they're, you know, closest to the water. On this floor here, we have the 61 refineries, which will be all for the rubber that we finally produce. And then up from there, we're just gonna kind of YOLO it, make all the heavy oil residue, plastic, extra rubber, and whatever else we need. And of course, to get started, you better believe we got a list ready, baby. Oh yeah, I got a plan, so I don't lose my mind. Still will happen, but you know, at least we'll get check marks along the way. So, hypertubes and walkability is number 1 for starting this project. Oh my gosh, we're finally out of the radioactive zone, so guess what? We can use the hover pack, if there's power around. So we're gonna be adding in power to all the floors and machines, and hypertubes to get to all the floors and machines. Help us out a lot. Determine a pipe spine. So there's gonna be pipes everywhere. So I'm kind of considering, hey, should we pick a dedicated spot for all those pipes? Maybe, I don't know. Then we have to pipe the heavy oil residue, the fuel from the blenders, then the recycled rubber, recycled plastic, the other recycled rubber in the 61 refineries, and then, oh no, belt work. There's a lot of load balancing involved with that, and it's gonna be the worst. But after that, we go to storage and the train connection, and a little bit of details here and there, testing and bug fixing, and then we breathe. So sounds like a plan, eh? Then let's get to it. And we'll start by adding in some hyper tubes, the front of the build, because they look cool. And these will go all the way up. Then at each floor, we'll have a little wall hole, and that will let us inside here. Beside this hyper tube spine, we can also bring up the power, because the hyper tubes will need the power, of course. And then if we already got the power here, we'll bring it up, bring it over, and start powering all the machines too. And we're just gonna be spamming the Mark III power connector things and just doing this. After a ton of tedious work, we can fly. Oh, this will make life so much easier, because wow, we got so many pipes to hook up. And even better, I got a temporary little hypertube hub built down here. And better yet, we get to check off things on our to-do board. Hypertubes? You done, brother. Give me that check mark. Save. Power the floors and the machines. We got it. There we go. Determine the pipe spine. You know what? What if we didn't? What if we didn't? There we go. Let's just not do that and get started by piping the heavy oil residue. And in total here, we're going to be making 3,400 heavy oil residue. And that'll be 34 refineries. Do we have 34 on this floor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 3, 24, that's fine. We'll go up to the next floor too and get even more residue. And if we're fully overclocking things, each of these is gonna make 40 times 2.5. That is 100 heavy oil residue per machine. And with rows of 8, that's 800. That'll be annoying to deal with. So we'll do this. We'll go these machines first, up in front here. Wait, what am I doing? I can fly. Something to get used to. And we'll start putting down these and connect a small little group. There we go. And that'll be our first little output. But wait! My world has just been changed forever. Unironically, there is a secret to the swatches. Behold, you can right-click this, and then on this little drop-down menu, you click on pipes. Now watch, be amazed as we go to build more pipes. Since we've selected that now, whenever we build a new pipe, it is built pre-painted. Isn't that the greatest thing of all time? So now when we're working on each of the floors, check it. Everything will be pre-painted. We don't have to go through everything twice. It'll all just be painted. And then when we get to, I don't know, the oil stuff, we'll just switch it to this one. And then we're making oil pipes. This should be black, yes? Yep. That is the greatest thing ever. A buddy of mine told me that on a Twitch stream I was doing, and I was like, what are you talking about, Willis? And then I figured it out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is huge. So you can even change your standard like paint to whatever you want. Concrete foundations, the FICSIT foundations, all this stuff. It makes, dude, it's probably the best feature of the whole customizer, in my opinion, is actually just being able to pre-paint stuff like this. It's huge, huge. And yeah, as we go through this project, it'll actually look really, really cool because we'll be able to see, by the colors, what the heck is actually going on. All right, and a few hours later, and look at that. Look at all the colors and the madness. Also tried to help out future Kibs here a bit because, oh yeah, almost forgot. We're making polymer resin here too, so we're gonna have a belt going out and going somewhere to deal with that. So the pipes are a little bit higher up now. And again, we're only gonna be focusing on pipes first. We'll get to the belt work later. And pipe-wise, things are looking good. Connected up the 6 refineries to align, and that went off. And then we had an extra 2 on the end, and I just did some finagling, like combining these 4 and doing a bunch of weird stuff. And eventually I just made 600 pipes. Then for the oil, it was, relatively simple. Just bring it on in and hope it works out. It's a lot more simple because we're dealing with less of it. It's like 30 times 2.5, it's 75. So 75 times 8, 600. So each 600 pipe of crude oil just goes into a set of 8 and we are good to go. But wow! We had to get all the heavy oil residue now down to the floor of the factory. And then we had to get all of the crude oil up here. And I just kind of brought it up this wall here. And it looks good. It's gonna be probably really annoying in the future though, because now we've taken up the entire wall with these pipes. But maybe everything will be fine. Maybe we don't need a dedicated pipe spine. I don't know. It looks good, right? So it has to work well. That's the law. Okay, back down here now. It's blender time. Wait, no it's not. It's checkmark time. Let's go. Love to-do lists. Okay, now it's blender time. Blenders, blenders, oh my blenders. What a chaotic situation we are about to endure. So we need to make the alternate diluted fuel. So we need the heavy oil residue and a ton of water. Let's start with the easier part. Let's get all of the sippy drink, the water. And you know what? Now that we're painting all of the pipes in here, I guess we'll paint these pipes blue. Oh, and actually we kind of have to because we'll use this orange color for the fuel pipes. Ah, yeah. It's time to update my entire world. So any pipe in our world with a default color should be blue after we do this. Might cause some lag. Hello? Huh, did that actually not work? Oh, okay. It worked. It worked. It just took a second. The game was just very, very scared with that decision. And actually, I'm infinitely curious. We gotta go check on the nuclear power plant now. All of the pipes there just got updated. Must look sick. Especially with our whole nuclear plant redo. Ooh, the green, the blue is gonna look so good. Oh, but that's blue. That's blue, baba, dee, baba, da. That is different. Maybe I should paint all the other things around it, like the extractors blue too. Maybe later we'll do that. That's cool though. I like it. But back to our project at hand. First off, we have too many blenders, so we have to calculate new rates. So we have 36 machines, each of which takes 50 heavy oil residue. Well, if you press N, it opens up this quick search that acts as a calculator, so super quick. 3,700. No, 3,400, whoops. That's how much residue we have. Divided by 36, it's 94.44. And if each machine takes about 50 heavy oil residue, we need to make that 50 94.44. So I think we do 94.44 divided by 50, 1.88 repeating, so 1.89, meaning we have to overclock this to 189%. I might have to dabble with that. And oh, I did do dabble. We need this to be on 180% clock speed because of that stupid 27.2 blenders we needed, and oh, and pipe limitations, and oh my gosh, yep. This is several hours later. Days? I don't know, time's just gone. I started hooking this up and like, I just kept checking my notes and then just days went by. And things got a little hectic, but it's looking pretty. That's good, right? Each of these machines though needs a certain amount of water, of course, right? 180 per minute. Thus, we had to do some crazy finagling with pipes. So we have 2 water pipes come in. One ends at like the 4th or 5th blender. And then we have this weird load balancing thing with valves. There are valves everywhere, everywhere. Oh man though, and then the output for fuel, because we're dealing with such weird numbers, I tried to make as many like full 600 pipes as I possibly could. Because I'd rather have one of my 6 pipes be messed up than all 6 of them, right? So yeah, this sacrifice pipe kind of goes up this way, fills up this pipe to be a 600. But then the weird numbered one goes over here, fills up this other pipe to be 600, then goes over here, fills up this pipe to be 600, and then we have a little bit of fuel residue, which will then go upstairs where we do it again, and then we have to combine that with even more, and then the party begins again. This is only the beginning. It's only the beginning. Okay, let's do that then. Oh no, wait a second, why am I freaking out? We can just boop things. Yeah, you see, you just gotta be able to control time and everything. So simple. So nice and simple, he says. Except there's something wrong. So upstairs we have all the heavy oil residue, right? It's coming in, it goes into through here. We have one weird pipe that's like 200, like heavy oil residue, and I had to load it into the blenders weird. Thus, we ended up with this one really spooky pipe that is weird. It's like whenever I do the math on any of these projects, almost inevitably I'll get like a 5.64 or like a 13.2 amount of an item, and I just kind of let it overflow into another system. Also, another thing that's a little weird, all of this should make 6,800 fuel, which is kind of odd, because if you divide 6,800 by 600, you get 11.3. So 11 full 600 pipes and then one weird one. And I double checked everything and we have the 11 pipes and the weird one, but past Kibitz left me a sign. What is that? Top is 480 fuel and bottom is 600? What? That's impossible. That's impossible! It's two machines running at 180 per minute, so 180, 360. This machine's getting split up to make that a 600 pipe, I'm sure. That means 360 plus what? 120? 480. No, what? I knew there was something weird. I was going through all of this and I was adding in all the water and stuff and I was like, I don't feel like we're getting the proper amount of fuel here, and we're not. So we're down, well that's 480, and we need 600, that's 120 times 3. We're missing 360 fuel per minute. It's not possible. I've been working on this for days now. This one like weird row took me so much time. Why? Well, let's look at the weird heavy oil residue pipe. So there's some excess heavy oil residue coming from downstairs. Residue, so 180 comes to here, goes into this pipe. This pipe, is this the weird one? This is probably the weird one. We had one weird one that we have from another floor. I think this has 200. So that's 380 heavy oil residue. Oh gosh, oh no, oh no. If anything's gonna be wrong, it's gonna be with the finicky pipe, and I got a hunch it's gonna be with the heavy oil residue. So we couldn't fit all of the machines, all the refineries for heavy oil residue on that one floor, so I went up to the next floor, and we got a couple rows going here. So what did past Kibitz do? We have two machines over here, okay, each of which is gonna make 40 times 2.5, 100 per minute. So that's 200. This is the finicky line. Why is there a merger? No, there's a problem. It's a 400 pipe, it's connected to these two. That means I have to redo everything. But you know, to be perfectly honest, it was kind of straightforward fixing that whole ordeal. Just, it's such a good idea to put all of your weird numbers onto like one grouping of machines, because we didn't really have to mess around with the inputs of all the other blenders. There's just kind of like one row that was messed up. And now it's fixed. And I've balanced out the pipes, I've load balanced the residue properly so it doesn't overflow, It's looking crazy, which is great. Our control room again is right up there, so we're gonna look down at these blenders all the time. Look at that, looks neat. Ooh, and then all of the fuel actually is gonna go to the back over here. And then it's gonna go straight up through, come on. Hover pack range, why you gotta be like this? Anyway, it's going through the floor, and all of the fuel will end up going through the control room, up to here, and then out the front wall to wherever it has to go in the future. Then we're gonna have some extra detail on this front wall. All this will go up, up, and away, and it'll look great. And that means, you know what time it is. It's time to check things off. Gotta do this. Oh. We're only a third of the way there. No! It's fine, because we're done with the tricky part of all the pipe stuff. Now it's just grinding and hooking up all the inputs to all of these, and it is mindless work, and I can listen to a podcast, and we are going to blast through everything now, brother. Oh yeah, this is way easier and went way better. Not a lot to calculate, and a lot of the numbers actually conveniently worked out where we don't have to do any like fluid load balancing. And now we got the residual rubber, which will take up that polymer resin, then pipe the majority of the fuel to the main process. Recycled rubber, and all the fuel that didn't go to that pretty much went upstairs to make plastic, because we'll actually need all this plastic to make all the rubber downstairs. So, residual rubber gets the check mark. The recycled rubber, the 61 machines, check, and the recycled plastic is a check. And we are done all of the pipe work for the entire build. Now just on to the belt work, yeah! But we're gonna do that next time. All this nonsense already took many hours, so we're gonna have like a part 2. So I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for watching, but have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.